Hey guys, it's Ezra. Today I want to talk to you about anti-cosmic Satanism. Basically, it's a belief system, centered in chaos, centered in destruction of the physical world because it is inherently flawed and it's created by the demiurge, by basically a malevolent creator deity that basically keeps you in the physical world trapped through cycles of reincarnation. Anti-cosmic Satanists believe that the universe itself is a prison, like I mentioned, and that the correct course of action for us to take as, spiritual people is to work with chaos deities, destruction deities of death, destruction, whatever else, to destroy this cosmic contraption that we are in. It's very controversial. Nobody really wants to touch it with a 20-foot pole for some reason. It's really a misunderstood system, I would say. It's something that even just bringing it up passively can get a lot of scrutiny, which is why I'm making this video. Anti-cosmic Satanism comes from Gnosticism, but the belief in a higher deity that is good is not necessarily a prerequisite for anti-cosmic Satanism. The anti-cosmic belief system basically only requires you to believe that the world is bad and the correct course of action is to work with these chaos deities to destroy the world. Also, a lot of in the modern times, there are also a lot of pro extinction movements. Antinatalism can be an expression of this belief system, as well as ephilism, or even desires to, what's the word, to like eliminate life completely, to just annihilate all of life and the universe, can be expressions of the anti-cosmic belief system. Of course, there have been groups that practice this path. Um, there were hate groups that practice it, so it gets a lot of scrutiny for that reason as well. There have been groups that have attempted human sacrifice in the name of anti-cosmic Satanism. There have been, what else? I guess even now there's like terrorist groups, like that don't even have a real ideology but are just acting out of nihilism itself. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, basically, anti-cosmic practitioners technically view exoteric belief systems like religions, mainstream religion, most definitely, like the law, morality, even like culture itself, as kind of like mental conditioning. These are basically things that not everyone will think this, but it can be seen as tools of the demiurge or tools of society to basically control your behavior and keep your behavior within constraints that prevent any kind of real rebellion against society. Um, for example, like if you are nonviolent, that's good for, a lot of people, but it's also good for the demiurge. It's also good for your oppressor. So, in that way, anti cosmic Satanism is opposed to those things. It's opposed to exoteric spirituality, and in that way, it can be seen as a noob trap. For example, you see all those influencers that are encouraging, the prosperity doctrine, who are encouraging you to, work hard and basically find jobs or whatever, make money, a bunch of money. I mean, from the anti cosmic perspective, that's a distraction. You're just playing these games to, keep yourself trapped in the cycle. You're not doing anything to break free from that perspective. You're basically just playing the mini games of the prison over and over for these rewards. It's a very deep belief system, an even deeper path. It's not something that easily meshes well, with other belief systems. Because even besides that other example I gave, if you are someone who believes a lot in, the love and light kind of spirituality, how it's inherently incompatible with anti-cosmic Satanism. Because if you're preaching love and light, you're saying that the universe is somewhere that like your soul chooses to be. How are you going to make that mesh with the idea that the universe is a trap and it needs to be destroyed? Or what else is incompatible? For example, how are you going to, you know, listen to YouTubers who, are very much about controlling your thoughts, like your thoughts manifest your reality, your thoughts, um, what's the like your vibrations are controlled by your thoughts and you'll vibrate more of your thoughts into. If you're an anti-cosmic Satanist, I mean, you basically believe the world is a prison, so how are you going to then try to control a prison with thoughts, in that way? How are you going to, you know, if you're an anti cosmic Satanist, you basically, your spiritual praxis is to destroy. Like, you shouldn't take this physically. You should not go and commit crimes to destroy with your physical body. This should be spiritual. You should be doing rituals, in my opinion, to destroy the universe. You should be doing, you should be invoking Liber Azerate or, other chaos deities to bring chaos into the prison, into the simulation. You should not just go and, do something that's going to get you arrested, because then nothing's going to happen. And then you'll just make anti cosmic Satanism look bad like all those other groups. Um, so yeah, that's all for today, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.